The Toronto real estate market is officially crashing or has crashed. What does that mean? Well, it means for all those who I talked to who hoped and prayed for years for a crash in order to buy, your time has come. Jokes aside, a market crash is usually defined as a rapid market drop of more than 20%, and some will argue that it's a market drop of over 20% within a 12-month span. So yes, either way you cut it, we've hit that point. Welcome to another episode of talking about a fear-mongering news article. Better Dwelling put out an article called Toronto Real Estate is the World's Largest Bubble and it's officially crashing. According to the UBS Bubble Index, Toronto tops the list of cities. And you can check out my video about the UBS Bubble Index on my channel. And according to the definition of crash, Toronto is there. But I'm here to provide a little glimmer of hope in an otherwise scary news cycle. And I'm actually going to use data provided by the Toronto Real Estate Board. It's crucial to note that the data TRREB releases combines as well as separates Toronto and the GTA. Some numbers which are used in news articles are related to the entire GTA, but the article may only state Toronto and vice versa. In this video, I am only going to be using numbers from the 416 area code, which is south of Steeles, east of the Etobicoke Creek, and west of Rouge River. The 416 area is considered to be Toronto proper. Quickly before I dive into some numbers, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, do so now and you will join a great and growing community of like-minded people. And if you want to book a buyer consult, a listing consult, or just a general call to chat about the market, head to the description of this video where you can book a meeting directly into my calendar. My name is Macallum Tepsich and I run a real estate team of 42 agents here in the city of Toronto. I'm going to start off with something pretty simple. The article I referenced earlier in this video provides a chart of real estate values since 2005. The data is from TRREB and the company Better Dwelling. First off, the title of the chart is Greater Toronto Real Estate Prices Are Off the Peak. That's correct. Prices are off from the peak. Since the chart is for the Greater Toronto Area, the data is for every single sale on TRREB, not just sales in the city of Toronto. So the title of the article is specific to Toronto, however, the title of the chart states Greater Toronto. And interestingly, it doesn't say area to clarify the geographic borders. Today, all anyone can talk about is March to now and how we are in a free fall. But don't forget what the rest of the chart is telling you. Real estate has consistently increased in value. Don't get me wrong, because I know people in the comments are going to say something negative. History does not tell the future. However, this asset has been very safe and secure for the past 17 years and beyond. I personally could not have bought a home in 2005, but boy, would I now love to have real estate from that year. Someone commented on one of my previous videos about how very few people got caught buying at the top of the market, so I had to dig a little deeper into the data to find the real percentages. And if you want to check out that video, it's called Real Estate Prices Dropped $255,000 in the GTA. It turns out 10% of sales in 2022 occurred in February and 16% of sales occurred in January and February combined. There has been some pain for these buyers over the past few months, especially if they purchased with an adjustable rate mortgage. In September of 2022, my brokerage, Zolo Realty, conducted an online survey asking just under 1,200 respondents a variety of opinion, self-report, and knowledge-based questions, all in order to measure how they felt about purchasing a home during the pandemic and their opinions today based on the current economic situation and real estate market. I'll link the article in the description below. The results were interesting and actually somewhat surprising. There were, of course, high percentages of people who thought a recession would impact their ability to pay their mortgage. However, that's to be expected. 80% of Canadians who bought during the pandemic are happy they bought a home when they did. And another 84% of those same buyers are satisfied with their home purchase today. And the most interesting result was that 63% of Canadians would still be happy in their home even if the real estate market dropped significantly. And we can say significantly means a market crash. This all goes to show that despite falling values, buyers who bought when prices were rising fast in 2021 are still happy with their purchases. Looking back to the chart from Better Dwelling, we'll focus on 2017 when we saw a significant drop in value. Do you think the people who bought in 2017 at the peak of the market that year are mad they held their homes? Probably not. You'll also notice that there's a point at the end of the line which isn't trending downwards as drastically. TRREB has reported a stable average sale price in the GTA of around 1.1 million since August. This doesn't automatically mean your home is worth the same as it was in August. It just means we're seeing stabilization on a very macro level. The article also talks about inventory, sales, ratios, new listings, all to tell the reader that we're seeing less sales and we have an influx of inventory, essentially leading one to believe we're in a buyer's market. I find news sources like to use sales to new listings ratios as an indicator of the market as it fits their narrative better. This method of determining the type of market we're in is the process of taking the number of existing home sales divided by the number of new listings in a time frame. Today, this equation shows that we're in a buyer's market, which fits the narrative. I prefer to use the equation of months of inventory. Months of inventory better determines the type of market we're in because it takes into consideration the active listings at the end of the time frame, unlike the sales to new listings ratio, which just takes into consideration the new listings which hit the market. Months of inventory determines how many months it would take for all available listings to sell if no new listings were brought to the market, essentially the absorption rate. We certainly cannot forget the active listings because they are still for sale. Months of inventory takes the active listings divided by the number of sales for a specific time period. Let's run some numbers for each method. For sales to new listings ratio, a ratio above 60% is associated with a seller's market. A balanced market is between 40 and 60%, and a buyer's market is under 40%. In a buyer's market of 40%, we would see 4 out of 10 new listings sell each month. The entirety of TRREB sales in December 2022 saw a sales to new listings ratio of 49.2%, which means we were in the middle of a balanced market. In Toronto, however, we're approaching a seller's market depending on the home type. For months of inventory, below 4 months is a seller's market, between 5 and 6 months is a balanced market, and above 6 months is a buyer's market. The entirety of TRREB sales in December showed 1.9 months of inventory, which means we are still very much in a seller's market, statistically speaking. It would take a lot more listings and a lot fewer sales to be in a buyer's market. However, it does absolutely feel like we're in a balanced market. Like I said before, I prefer months of inventory because it takes into consideration the active listings at the end of a time frame, and we can't forget about the remaining listings. We'll wrap this video up with don't focus on the negativity in the media, focus on you and your situation. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, all I ask is that you click that subscribe button.